Nobody likes to feel ignored. Whatever it is that you feel, whatever triggers you when you feel ignored, I'm going to help you in this video. We're going to be using the DISC personality framework today to figure out which personality style you predominantly are so that you can learn about yourself and change the way that you might respond if you feel like you're being ignored. So let's go through these one by one, listen carefully, figure out which one you are, and then what you can do differently in order to get a more productive and positive outcome. When you get ignored, if you feel like the first thing you want to do is push harder and be really blunt and direct and say things like, right, what is going on with this situation? What's happening with this now? Then it's likely you are a dominant personality style. Being ignored for you is blocking progress and ultimately losing control. Now, of course, nobody's perfect, but the risk with being blunt and being direct like that is that people can feel a bit threatened and a little bit under attack. And depending on their style, it might cause arguments and fallout down the line. The next time you feel ignored, remember, ignored doesn't always mean dismissed. And when someone's ignoring you, it doesn't mean that they don't care about the outcome. Sometimes it might just be that they are overloaded and there's just too much going on. So what we've got to do is learn how to use your dominant traits in a positive way. Having a dominant person on your side helping you can be a real asset. So here's one little thing that can make a big difference. When someone gives you something, gives you information, a problem to solve, you're likely to go all in and solve it. So a question that you could ask is, what's missing from this? What's slowing this down? What can I do to help us finish this project? These are all helpful questions that when you ask them as a dominant person, you'll get an answer that you can run with. And the other person won't feel like they're being attacked. They'll feel like they've got someone there that's motivated and dynamic and ready to help, which is of course a superpower of a dominant person. So if that is you, then first of all, let me know in the comments. And remember, if you're feeling ignored, there's absolutely something you can do to help the situation. Don't take it personally. Don't let it get to your ego. Think about the outcome, work together and see what you can do to help the other person. When you feel like you're being ignored, if you feel a little vulnerable, if you feel disconnected, possibly even rejected, the chances are you are an influencer personality. You value other people's input. You like to work in teams. You love collaboration. So the worst thing for you would be to share something personal and you just get no engagement. It seems like the other person hasn't heard you, hasn't seen you, doesn't care about what you've said. A typical reaction for influencer styles is they will like to talk it through with other people. You might seek some confidence in someone else. You might start validating how you feel. And that's all great, but it can also cause more problems down the line. So the next time you feel ignored, instead of thinking it's rejection and that the other person doesn't care, consider that silence isn't always rejection. Sometimes it can just be distraction. People move on different times, different orbits, have all the things that they need to do inside of their mind. They might just have forgotten or they might just be a little distracted. Here's how you can make the situation better for you and them. Ultimately, we're trying to achieve something together. So you've got to step up, be the leader in the situation, and you've got to separate the facts from your feelings. So what you can do is you can approach the other person and you can ask a question like, hey, just checking, what did you think of my message? That might just give the other person the opportunity to remember that you'd sent that message and finally deal with what it is that you've asked them to look at. It's a positive way to move things forward without that fear of rejection or letting feelings and emotions get in the way. So the next time you feel ignored, remember, separate those feelings from the facts and ask questions that can help move things forwards. If you're the sort of person that feels ignored when other people talk over you, when other people dismiss your opinion or don't acknowledge you, then the chances are you are an S style or a steady personality. These guys and girls are your classic overthinkers. When you feel ignored, you start to withdraw. You're less likely to say it again, and you feel like it's you that's seeing it differently, seeing it wrong, and everyone else knows what they're doing. The heaviest part of it is you internalize all of this and you carry it around with you in your mind. You probably take it home with you after work and it's spinning around your head for God knows how long. Worst part is, when we talk about problems over time, you can shrink and you can start to build resentment quietly, which rears its ugly head in the future. Recommending that you speak up and repeat yourself and really own the room might be a bit too much. So instead, what will really help you as a steady person is creating the environment, creating the space that you need to get your point across. You can gently, politely ask for 5 minutes of someone's time, or ask for a conversation about a particular topic. Once you've created that space, you can ask, hey, would it be all right if we revisit that point? Or I noticed that we haven't done this, so we need to talk about that. You can deliver your point in a way that's constructive and creates safe guardrails around that moment in time where there's less chance of other people jumping in and talking above you. Those environments will help you to navigate through these problems without causing more in the future. The next time you feel ignored, remember, what you've got is important. And it's really key for you to create that environment to deliver that information. If you hold it in, it'll only get worse. So rather than speaking louder, create opportunities to have good quality conversations around the things that you need to get across. If you're the sort of person that gets really put out if you send a document or something you've worked hard on and then you just don't get a reply, then the chances are you're a conscientious personality type. For you, it can be devastating when you've worked on something for a long time and you feel like the other person hasn't really taken any time to read it, to look at it properly, or understand it. That can really rub you up the wrong way because you value accuracy, something you take a lot of pride in. And that's a superpower. One of the biggest problems for a conscientious personality when they feel ignored is paralysis in analysis. You start overthinking from a really critical point of view. You consider doing it all again, or maybe it wasn't exactly what they wanted, so I need to change something. And it might be absolutely perfect. It's just that the other person may be just a bit busy or distracted or have other things that they're dealing with. They might be working on a slightly different timeline. So rather than you wasting all that time doing it again, here's something else that you can consider next time you feel ignored. First of all, avoid redoing anything or rewriting anything until you get feedback. And if you're waiting for it, one thing that you can ask to speed things along is, hey, what did you think of the document that I sent you? Until you hear a reply, consider that a pause button. There's nothing else that you need to do. You don't need to rewind. You don't need to do it again. Just wait for your next move. Because, and good for you, feedback is important to you because you want to do a good job. You want things to be accurate. But remember, if you're feeling ignored and you have a lack of feedback, that doesn't automatically mean that you've got it wrong or that your work is flawed. It's just a pause button. You wait, then you receive that feedback, and then you use that in your own special objective way to get the next task done. Last thing on this, what we have to do is lead ourselves forward to get the best out of everyone. Know that everyone's different. We've all got superpowers, we've also got areas that we could improve. But when you're able to put your own ego and your own dramatic reactions to one side and adapt your behavior, you can increase the quality of your interactions and you can increase the productivity in your team. This is especially important if you are the leader, because you could be causing your own fires in your own backyard. So adapt yourself instead of waiting for other people to change, because they probably won't. It's just the way it is. If you want the best for everyone, it starts with you. Thank you for watching. If you like this sort of thing and you've watched for this long, you should probably subscribe to the channel. I make videos like this all the time to help you become the best leader that you can be. And if you've watched this far, give me a $5. But if you haven't got a $5, just like the video, that'll do. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. I'll keep that in, I think.